Hello gang, Tattoo Biker here with you. And tonight I've got 3 real reports from real people who share their true stories about encountering winged cryptids or Mothman type beings. Are these reports the same creature that haunted Point Pleasant, West Virginia leading up to the Silver Bridge collapse? Well, I'm not sure, but I really think that we should hear what they have to say. So grab your gear and let's ride.
Number 1. Dear Biker, I just wanted to tell you of an event that happened to me when I was around 12 years old. That's when I witnessed what I believe to be the Mothman. This occurred in Watonta, Indiana around 1996. I woke up out of bed for some unknown reason. And for some reason I was thinking that I had left something of great importance outside the front of the house. I went out there to get the mysterious item, and while I was out there, I heard a noise on the side of the house. When I went to look, that's when I saw a dark shape with red eyes that appeared to be about 7 feet up off the ground. I quickly ran back inside and watched to see if anything attempted to come onto the porch, but all I heard was a loud whoosh and then nothing else. I felt like it was compelling me to come outside for some reason. Oddly enough, that house ended up burning to the ground not long after this occurred. I never thought of it being connected. Being that it's referred to as a bad omen, who knows? I've included my phone number. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Signed, Earl.
A quick narrator's note here. Naturally, I did have questions, being me. And since the invitation was offered, I called Earl. And we had a very productive back and forth conversation about the incident. Earl didn't want to be recorded, but he was fine with me keeping detailed notes and relating the information to you guys that resulted from our discussion. What follows is a synopsis of what he said.
In the summer of 1996, when Earl was 12 years old, he had been sleeping in the back room of his house on South Haskell Road in Watonta, Indiana. It was a dark, early morning when he had been awakened by an unknown sensation that he had left something important out in the yard. He gets up and he walks out onto the porch. He began to walk in the front yard towards the 7-foot-tall fence, which was about 7 feet away from the side of the house. And that's when he noticed a 7 to 8 foot tall, dark-colored, upright humanoid with large, long slits for eyes that projected a bright red light. As he walked towards it, he began to realize how big this creature was, and then he suddenly froze. And that's when Earl sees the outline of large wings on its back, but he never observed the wings unfurl. He also saw chest muscle definition and heard 3 bumping, repetitive noises emanating from the being. Then, the winged humanoid quickly ascended upwards, flying away with a loud whooshing sound. The South Haskell Road house burned to the ground soon after his experience. Later on, a neighbor tells him that he had seen other strange beings in the woods behind his house. Whatever it was had torn open fox traps and stolen the animals. After the house had burned down, Earl continued to hunt squirrels in the same woods. On at least 2 occasions, after bagging them, Earl would leave the game in a secure location while he continued hunting. Each time he returned to collect the carcasses, he saw tree branches and bushes moving, discovering that the squirrels had been taken. Years later, after Earl married, he moved to Wayne Drive in LaPorte, Indiana. Since then, he has continued to experience unexplained activity in and around the property.
Another quick note here. The witness was very forthcoming and direct, and it appears that Earl is highly intuitive, and that he still experiences the sensation of unknown entities around him. These feelings are similar to those that other winged humanoid witnesses have expressed to me before.
Number 2. Hey, Tattooed Biker. I've been following your channel for a while now, listening to the reports that you get, and I held off contacting you about my sighting that I had many years ago, but now I'd like some answers. In 1972, I was just a child, living in a small Mississippi town just south of Jackson. I was about 12 years old at the time, sitting on the front porch at my grandmother's house. I don't remember it being cold, and I don't know what time of year it was, but it was around 9 p.m. when I noticed some movement to my left above the streetlights, moving through the air about 75 yards away. It was white and appeared to glow. There appeared to be a body with membrane, gossamer wings with a very small head. A very small head with a small face and eyes. Basically, just a body and wings. The tail was multi-rayed and very wispy. I would have thought that it was an owl, except it was much too large and seemed to be glowing from within. It glided until it got almost directly in front of me, about 30 yards away, and then it suddenly shot straight up and out of sight. It seemed so bizarre to me that even after all these years, I can still remember every detail of this creature so vividly. Thanks. Signed, Sam.
Anomalous winged creatures and humanoids are a worldwide phenomenon, and I literally receive hundreds of reports annually. I'm not sure of what the witness here experienced, but many times, like the witness described, the memory remains permanent and overwhelming for them to experience.
Number 3. Dear TB, I live in Rochelle, Illinois, and my family has a place at Woodhaven Lakes between Sublette, Illinois and Amboy, Illinois. We were on our way home from a weekend at our place in Woodhaven on a Sunday about 3 years ago. I was in my mom's van with my wife, mom, and 2 dogs. We were going northbound on Brooklyn Road, which runs alongside I-39. We were just talking, and then all of a sudden my wife, 2 dogs, and myself, we all see a big, flying black thing, as clear as day. It flew right in front of the van. When I say the dogs saw it, I mean that their attention was instantly drawn to the sky in front of the van, like they were suddenly startled. It reminded me of when they saw an animal or someone outside my house who didn't belong. They went into defend my family mode. They didn't bark, just in defense mode, or maybe they were scared. I don't know why, but my mom didn't see it. She also was the one driving. My wife and I looked at each other and we both said, "Did you see that? It looked like the Mothman." At the time, we hadn't heard about all the sightings in Chicago, but we were aware of the sightings in West Virginia and the collapsed Silver Bridge. We might have heard of some stories from Chicago too, but I didn't really think anything of it at the time. At no time did we feel threatened. I felt like it was just toying with us, having some fun, you might say, like it dove down in front of us just to scare us or surprise us. We looked behind the car after we saw it, but we didn't see anything back there. We didn't hear it make any noises or see any red eyes. We just saw something very big flying right at us. I've seen eagles fly many times close up, and, well, this thing made them look tiny. It's also one of those things that freaked us out, and we talked about it a lot at first, but we didn't really want to tell anyone, for obvious reasons of maybe them thinking we're crazy. Once in a while we will bring it up, but a few weeks ago, a Facebook friend made a post making fun of the people who witnessed the Mothman on Unsolved Mysteries. I deliver for Yellow, formerly Schwann's in that area, and drive to and from my cabin a lot, and I've never seen anything like it. I always pay attention because, well, I remember the spot where it happened. I just wanted to tell you our story. Feel free to email me back or call me. Signed, Leo.
I called this witness and had him repeat the scenario. The winged being was humanoid in appearance. No facial details were determined other than it had a head. The body was human-like at about 6 feet in length and black with a shiny or wet appearance. The wings were bat-like and much wider than the van. The thing, or the winged being, swooped down, flying towards the front of the van, and then flew over it as it neared, and then vanished, Only the witness, his wife, and the dogs observed it. For some unknown reason, the witness's mother, who was driving, never saw the thing. This isn't unusual if compared to other sightings of this phenomenon. There does seem to be some sort of evidence that these beings only allow certain people to observe them. This has occurred in several previous reports, among other supernatural characteristics associated with these creatures. And there it is, all the true encounter stories that I have for you tonight. So what were these strange and frightening creatures? Were they the classic Mothman or something else entirely? As always, I'm anxious to read your thoughts and theories in the comment section below, but please, keep it respectful to the witnesses. And if you have a strange experience or an unexplained encounter that you'd like to share, just send it to the email address in the description and, well, your story may just wind up in a future video. Anyways, thanks for riding with me tonight. I really appreciate you. And until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, stay safe, and I'll be seeing you on down the road a ways. Biker out.